Welcome to the stream, you guys. How are you? It is your raspy voice host. It's the Lab Girl back with another stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me in the stream today. We will be getting into the meat and the potatoes of the stream, dealing with stress in the lab. So we'll get into that. I hope you guys are doing well. Again, thank you so much for joining me for this live. We have a lot to talk about, and hopefully we can leave this live with some understanding of, hey, it's not just you. I deal with the same thing. We all will deal with it. But yeah, we'll get into all that. But first, let's go ahead and just be on a lighthearted note real quick. If this is your first time watching me, my name is the Lab Girl. I'm a histotech here in California, and I make YouTube videos on histology, my experience as a travel histologist, my experience as a histologist in this field. And I create this platform for students, current histologists, future histologists, just like myself, so we can have a community and a platform to grow from and just to learn and, be that support. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And also, I just want to let you guys know that I did post a video a few days ago, and that's how to stay in a muscle biopsy. So definitely check that out on my channel. It's literally behind the scenes of me making certain muscle enzyme solutions for each enzyme that I make. I showed you guys that things need to be pH, stained fresh, or pH, and made freshly for every muscle that we do. So maybe later in other streams, I'll definitely go into more depth about that. But that's just a little inside peek that I gave you guys. So definitely check out that video. And if you are coming into the stream, definitely go ahead and hit that thumbs up button so YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. That's definitely important. I got to give you guys all the YouTube, the YouTube stuff. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you definitely are getting value out of my content. And before we begin dealing with stress in the lab, as you guys see, welcome to the stream. Drop your questions and your comments below and let me know what are some of the things that stress you at work. You could definitely drop that in the comment section. We'll read some comments throughout the live. And if you guys are catching this on the replay, my replay fam, you can also leave some things, or you can also vent about some things that may be stressing you out at work. And we can definitely address those in later lives. And I'll definitely hit you guys back with, any concern or any advice that I possibly have. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this live, dealing with stress in the lab. So just a little feedback on how I decided to, make this video. My friend and I were, like, normally we discuss a lot of things that go on at work and how we see things that could be done differently, and how, people can sometimes become stressed, or how we can also become stressed, and just how it can affect the workflow and what actually makes us stressed. Like, it's always the concern of, am I going to complete all of my tasks? Or sometimes people are stressed out at work because they feel like that they're doing everything by themselves. They don't have any help, or they feel like that, they don't have enough time in the day to do what they need to do. And I also feel like that some days. I'm not exempt. I feel like I have a lot on my plate, but I don't have enough time. So whenever I was talking with her, she was just telling me, some situations. And I mean, nothing is, new to me. I know that's just, how we all are in when we're sorry, when we're in a high volume lab like that, things can be so high strung to where, people feel like that they don't have enough time to do what they need to do, and they feel bad if they have to leave things for someone else to do. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, like, this is really affecting a lot of people, not only just in the lab, but this affects a lot of people in every job, like how to deal with stress or a toxic work environment. Now, I'm not going to put those two together just yet, but we will be getting into a toxic work environment and what makes your work environment toxic. But just the fact that, us as lab techs or lab professionals, histotechs, we are feeling the effect of, man, like, I can't get everything done. What will happen? Will people speak negatively on me? Will I get in trouble? Will people think that I'm lazy? I feel bad, just the fact that I'm so used to completing things and I can't complete things. So I said, hey, I think that'll be a good video idea for me to do. So shout out to her, because she was just, venting and letting me know, like, this is what's going on, this, that, and the third. I'm like, damn, I could definitely relate, but we can't fix everything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to definitely do a video about dealing with stress in the lab. So this is the reason why I changed topics from what I was originally going to do, which is small labs versus big labs, like the pros and cons of working in both. But I did take a poll on my on my YouTube. If you guys go to the community tab, it's still not too late to answer the poll. A day ago, I put, do you guys experience stress or the stress of completing all of your tasks at work? And 60% of you guys said yes. And 40% of you guys says, depend on how busy the day is. None of you guys said no. We're just going to let that sink in. None of you guys said no. So that means we all experience some type of stress. Hey, JT Coin Rings, how are you? Thank you so much for joining the live. Like I said before, if whatever makes you stressed out of work, definitely drop that in the comment section, because I'm pretty sure those who are coming into the chat a little bit later could definitely benefit and probably can relate to some things that you may be stressed out about at work. So thank you so much for joining the live. I really appreciate it. So I thought about a few questions. Question number 1. Do you feel stressed when you can't finish all your tasks and duties? And it's easy for me to say, yeah, I do. But then on the other hand, I'm like, it's only 8 hours in the day. I literally need to make sure that I multitask and come up with a way to where I can just be realistic about what my day will consist of. So I do have a lot on my plate. I'm not going to lie. Histotechs in general are really busy. But if you work with me personally, I have a lot on my plate. So I don't do general histology. I'm only going to give examples about me. That's why I want you guys to definitely, leave your comments so I can definitely see what stresses you guys out. But I work in Neuropath, which you guys can see from my videos now. And Neuropath consists of only one other individual, which is my lead. Okay. And myself. So my lead takes care of mostly of the morning things up until the time I come in, and then I just take care of anything that's remaining. Now, every day in Neuropath is definitely different. Every day in histology is definitely different. But at least in general histology, I had like a certain schedule that I adhered to. So I knew in general histology, I will be doing embedding, cutting, special stains, just the routine things. And then maybe the pending list to make sure, every block has been cut. And that's just running a report. And maybe I'll do derm rolls. Very standard, a very easy, breezy, black and white what I'm doing. Now, my life changed when I went to neuropath, because in neuropath, I'm dealing with autopsy brains. I'm dealing with creating orders. I'm dealing with muscle biopsies that I have to accession, freeze. I have to gross. I have to cut. I have to stain. I have to deal with eyeballs. I have to deal with immunos for the brains. I have to deal with nerve special stains. I have to deal with nerve biopsies. The list goes on and on and on. It's literally a 2-person job, right? And then not only that, I have to make sure that I am able to multitask and do all these things, as well as juggle making each and every reagent that I need to make from scratch, because nothing is automated in neuropath. So when it comes to stress, I definitely understand what you guys are going through. Oh, thank you. Thank you, JT. Yeah, you guys, I'm definitely going to have a 1K celebration. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's like I can't believe it, but I busted my ass to get here. So, and it's because of you guys. So I really appreciate you guys and your support. Thank you so much. So yeah, so do you feel the stress that you can't finish all your tasks and duties? And I would definitely tell you that yes, I do feel the stress, because I know that I can only do so much. And I think that mindset came whenever I don't know, like I used to feel guilty, and I used to feel like, man, like what is the other person going to think? If I don't finish this, or, are they going to think that I'm lazy, or are they going to think that, I'm not capable of finishing everything. I'm not the right person for the job. And then the initial moment when someone is leaving you all these tasks to do, you're like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Do this, do that, and it's like second nature to them. So you're like, yeah, I could do it. Yeah, sure. But you guys have to be realistic on what you can complete and what you cannot complete. So that's really, really important. Really important. And so feeling stressed is actually a natural thing. Okay, the second question that I wanted to ask myself was, what causes you the most stress at the lab? And this can go for you guys too. What causes you guys the most stress? Is it going to be pay, your coworkers, your daily tasks, no growth, or more responsibilities? These are the things that I thought of that can cause people stress on any job, honestly. Because, okay, let's just go with pay. So if we're thinking about pay, are you getting paid what you work? You guys know that whenever we're talking about jobs on this channel and histology jobs, I do believe that starting out with a modest amount, if you know that you're new in the game, be realistic about what you're about to start off at compared to what you used to make. I'm very, very transparent about that. Number 2, you've learned more, so you want to maybe get paid more, which is understandable. But make sure you're with the company that understands that, or with the lab that understands that, and they are offering raises. Fun fact, one of my old jobs, and I really haven't had that many, but my job in Florida, my old boss, he would barely give raises. It was one year, it was time for the raise. And one of my friends basically she was coming up for her annual raise, and he told her, yeah, you won't be getting a raise this year, but we'll, let's see about next year. So you've really busted your butt all year just for your boss to tell you, we're not going to give you a raise this year, but maybe next year we'll give you a raise. You're like, what? Like, so once again, I've seen it happen. Raises are slim to none. It depends on, who you're working for, where you're working for. So, As far as that, is your pay what's stressing you out? Sometimes I hear coworkers tell me, well, we should get paid more. I wish we would get paid more, or we should get paid more. We do a lot of things. And I'm going to keep it real with you guys. Like, I had to tell this individual, I'm pretty sure you're getting paid a decent amount, because how much money do you want to make? $100 an hour? Like, please let me know, because I know where we work at, and I know you're getting paid decent money. I'm not telling you that you don't deserve more money, but we have a big workload, but you're getting paid good money. So, sometimes it could just be a complaining factor, and you're adding more stress to yourself. Daily tasks. What causes you the most stress at your lab? Daily tasks. Like I said before, I have so many tasks that I have on my plate. If you work in a lab, you can list in the comment section, how much do you really have to do in a day's work? If you work in a smaller lab, you may think, oh, smaller labs are not as busy. That is a lie. Smaller labs are just as busy as a big lab. And if you don't have that many histotechs and you work in a smaller lab, you probably have to complete every single thing. You probably have to complete every single case and cut every single case and make sure that all the work gets out before you go home. I've experienced that before. So your daily tasks, do you have enough time to complete your daily tasks? Or is your boss adding more responsibilities to your list of daily tasks, but not willing to give you more money for all the things that you're doing? And last but not least, no growth. Are you not able to go to different departments, learn something new, train somewhere else? If there's no growth, and if the only growth is for you to become a histotech from a lab tech, if that's what you want to do, then that's great. But every lab tech don't want to be a histotech, but maybe they want to go and shadow in the gross room, or maybe they want to just start doing something different. Maybe they want to learn Mohs. They got the background in Mohs, but they're a lab tech. There's so many opportunities that you can do within the histology lab, but if you feel like that you're at a dead end at your job, that will also cause stress at the lab. So these are all the things that I thought of that can cause the most stress as far as a histotech. Welcome to the live, you guys. Definitely drop down below, some things that make you stressed at work. I really appreciate you guys joining. Okay, JT says, I'm still in general histology. The mission of management at my job is to maximize our output. The processors have been shortened, still at a rate of fixation to get the work out sooner. Yeah, JT, I'm definitely going to talk about management, because they can definitely add to the stress. So you're saying the mission of management at my job is to maximize our output. The processors have been short and still a rate of fixation to get the work. Okay, so what I'm taking from this text is the fact that you guys have shortened your processing runs just so more biopsies or more blocks can come out to be embedded quicker, so the work can get out sooner. Okay, so do you guys not have different runs? Like maybe some things are ran on routine, then some things are ran on fatty runs, because it's kind of weird, because I don't think everything could come out at the same time or come out sooner. I mean, you guys are shortening the runs, but I mean, how many people do you guys have embedded at one time? That's like another thing. So if you are someone who works at a lab to where they are focusing on quantity, then you're going to feel like you need to grow another arm. And I know that feeling. You're going to definitely feel like you need to grow another arm just to get the work done. Okay, I prioritize with my team members to ensure we get the work out, but that can shoot us in the foot. Management says you guys are killing it. Yeah, so once they see that you can keep up that speed or that level of hustle and bustle, they're like, oh shoot, like this is the dream team. You're killing it. Like we could continue to, make sure that everything gets out on time. But that's a good thing. You have to prioritize with your team members to ensure that we get the work out. Yeah, it's all about communication. Definitely communicate, because that's the only way that, that will probably alleviate the stress that will be upon the other coworkers, because everyone will not be at the same pace as you, and everyone will be at the same speed as you, and they may, if they don't feel comfortable, cutting as fast or embedding as fast. And also too, we have to understand that just because you go fast, that doesn't mean, errors won't happen. That's truly when errors can happen. So definitely want to keep that in mind, which I know you probably know that, but that can add stress, because you are looking to make sure you get everything out the door every single day. All right. And question number 3, how do you deal with the stress? And you just gave us a perfect example on how you deal with some of the stress. You have to prioritize. That's definitely what I encourage. Like, if you know that you have a list of things to do as a histotech, or a list of things to do as a lab tech, or a list of things to do as a management, I mean, you have to prioritize your work day. Like, sometimes you can go into work with nothing, and then you'll be at work looking for something to do. Those are like the sweet days. If you don't have anything to do, take that moment. That's what everyone always says in my job. Like, I can at least respect that. You got a slow day today, and you just need to find something to do, like cut controls, or just, maybe do your like your little learning things. I forgot the name of it, but do your certifications, do your health, we call it health streams. But yeah, if you just need to find something to do, I mean, enjoy those days, value those days, because those are the days where you're the least stressed, right? And those are the days where you can have that downtime, because that next day it may be booming. So definitely enjoy the days that you don't really have anything to do. Definitely enjoy the days where there's downtime. Those are times where you can study if you have to study for the ASCP. Those are the times where you can, ask questions. Those are the times where you can go back and just probably try to relearn something. Maybe you think that you've been doing something wrong this whole time, and now you can actually ask someone a question and get, how they do it, pick their brain, or learn something new, go and shadow someone. So there's definitely ways to deal with the stress. And if you have downtime, that's definitely a good day to deal, to make sure you manage your stress and actually take that moment to appreciate the fact that you're not as busy. All right. So the next thing is, okay, triggers for our stress at work. And the triggers that I came up with is high volume, the workload, and toxic coworkers. Okay, so let's get into the high volume. And now, because we're in a pandemic, it can work 2 ways. It could just be high volume altogether that's causing you the stress, or it can be high volume and maybe no staff, because I'm currently experiencing that high volume, no staff due to, the pandemic, or just high volume and maybe no staff because you guys need to hire people. The lab is growing, or people have quit, or people on leave of absence. And that can affect everyone, and that can add to anyone's stress at work. Histotechs, lab techs, because you're trying to pick up the slack for when people are out. You want to make sure that you do your share, but also you can get drained and overwhelmed. It's like the biggest thing. So we're definitely looking out for those triggers. If it's a high volume, if you walk into work and your block count is 1,000, right? That automatically is like, oh my God, this is going to be a busy day today. And you sit down and you see that there are loads and loads of blocks still left to be cut. And you're cutting, and you checking the embedding station, and you see there's loads of blocks that still needs to be embedded. Automatically, your goal, or you are thinking, hey, how can I get this workload out the door? And then on the other end, you have to think, as these histotechs are cutting and cutting and cutting, the lab techs have to be able to get these slides out the door, or get these slides, to the destination. So not only are they doing that part, then they're doing the stainers, then they're doing the processors, then they're receiving the tissue, then they're taking the tissue off the processors. And if you work in a 24-hour lab, then this is what goes on around the clock. If you're lucky enough to work in a lab that closes at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and Monday through Friday, that's a great thing, because normally, you have a stopping point to your day. But whenever you work in a 24-hour lab, it's kind of different, because the work just continues to just come out. So that's stressful on a histotech side, and that's stressful on the lab tech side. So we definitely want to keep each other. You definitely want to be considerate whenever you are stressed out and you're seeing that you have a lot of work. How can you contribute and help your other team members, and not just feel like that you have to take on all the stress by yourself? And that's the reason why I decided to do this live again, because I feel like some people, they think that they want to take on all that responsibility, instead of saying, hey, this is just something that I know that I'm not going to be able to finish, and I'm not neglecting my work. I'm not trying to put my work off on anyone, but I just can't finish everything, and it's okay. I don't need to feel stressed out or to worry myself because I'm not able to do everything that I said I was going to do, and I'm not able to complete all my tasks. But as long as that communication is there and you communicate with the next person, that's really all that you can really do. So this is more of a motivational type of live to say, hey, let's recognize the triggers, and let's show each other it's okay that we just can't be the best, or just because we don't complete everything that we're not the best. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely something that we leave the lab and we're like, damn, like I wish I could have done more, or we leave the lab doing everything to the max. I know it's some nights where I feel like I stretch myself so thin, and I know you guys can relate. And you're drained because you have literally stretched yourself so thin to where you wanted to complete everything and do everything. And then on top of that, if you have to QC your work and something fails, or you have to, it's one of those things that just adds to your responsibility, and that just adds to your stress. So just try to get in the habit of saying, hey, I need help. If someone can help you, do you mind helping me? Or whatever you can do, just to make sure that it's just not just on you. And as someone like me, if it is just on me, then I'm going to do whatever I can to complete whatever I can. And then whatever I can't complete, I'm going to leave it for the next day. And that's fine. So you have to get into that mindset of knowing that it's okay to leave things for the next day. Okay. And my next thing is the histotechs. All the duties we have. I mean, histotechs. If you know, then you know. If you know how to do this, that, and the third, you know how to unload the biopsies, you know how to embed, you know how to cut, you know how to file, you know how to pick your slides, print worksheets, answer the phone, talk to the pathologist, go do a Mohs, go do a frozen. It's so much. I mean, so much that histotechs do. And that's why I always say that, without lab techs, like where will we be? But if you're a histotech that works in a smaller lab, then it's a possibility you are the lab tech. And if you guys have been there before, please let me know in the comments, because I know I have. I was the histotech and the lab tech. in some cases. So, it's just one of those things is where it's like you may be in a position where you have to do it all. And that's okay. Once again, because if you're on your own, you can make those decisions of what is the most important thing on my to-do list today. Now, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. It's some people in the lab who don't know how to prioritize anything. And there's some people in the lab who are just lazy. So that adds stress. But we're going to get into that next. Okay, we're going to get into the toxic coworkers, toxic management, which can add to our stress. Again, I really appreciate you guys joining me for the live. We're talking about dealing with stress in the lab. If you guys are just not joining me, dealing with stress in the lab. I did a poll, and you guys definitely did say you guys were stressed the hell out. Oh God. And I feel you. And so I decided to do this live talking about stress and what are some of our triggers. What's some of the reasons why we get stressed at work? So if you guys want to list in the comment section, any question that you want to ask me, or if you want to list in the comment section, what may be stressing you out? And for my guys on the replay, definitely list that down below. All right. So toxic coworkers. Let's talk about it. Now, I have this is going to go good with this message that I got for one of my subscribers. And she sent me a message talking about her toxic workplace. And we can all relate. We can definitely all relate. This is a whole nother video talking about toxic people at the workplace. And that's once again in any job that you can have. But this is more so just recognizing that we are stressed, recognizing what are some of the triggers, as far as like stress in the lab, stress in histology, everything that we have to do to make sure patient care is on point. This is not really a video saying, this is what we can do to fix it, because this is an ongoing process, and maybe we'll do a video on, some ways to manage our stress at work. But right now we're just talking about the realization of how we have sometimes a stressful ass job. And it's okay to be realistic, and it's okay to say, hey, I'm stressed out and this place is, toxic, or I wish I had more help, or, I wish I wouldn't blame myself for, not finishing everything, or I can't be perfect at work. I work. And if you watch me or if you listen to me and you work with me, like, I'm sorry, but people really strive for perfection. And if that's who you are, I'm not talking about a character flaw, but I'm just talking about striving for perfection at work is not realistic. And not making a mistake is not realistic. And not forgetting to do something is, or is realistic, my bad. And, and not, just doing everything correctly. Like, I see a lot of adults, whenever they get constructive criticism, they don't know how to take it. And guess what? That triggers something and that stresses them out. So learn how to take constructive criticism, please. That may help out with your personal stress. All right. So we're going to get into this comment I got, and let's see exactly, what's going on here, because it was a lot to unpack in this message. And I appreciate, shout out to you, Kristen. I appreciate you sending me this comment, because this is a lot, like I said, a lot to unpack. All right. So she says, Sucks. I don't think I'll be able to join the live, but I can try to quickly leave my experience here. She said, I got a job 6 months ago, right after graduating my histo program. At first, I thought the supervisor was rude to me because I was a newbie. He made me cry multiple times and just talked to me like I was stupid. When others would make mistakes, I would be the one who got blamed, and I didn't start sticking up for myself until about a month ago. And even when I found out I wasn't the one who messed up, I never got an apology. Recently, I found out that one of the doctors wanted to pull me for Mo's training. I was so excited, but the others in my lab they all bombarded me, talking crap about how I shouldn't do it, that I'll be losing money and missing out on hours, and none of this was true. They kept telling me the pathologist that I said I didn't want. They kept telling me the pathologist said that I didn't want to learn Mo's, which was also not true. They were basically trying to keep me in their lab so they wouldn't have to do more work. And when I went, sorry guys, they were basically trying to keep me in their lab so they wouldn't have to do more work when I went and did Mo's. I had to go behind their backs and let my manager know not to listen to anything except what comes out of my mouth and that I want to learn it. They are still unhappy with me that I'm adding a skill to my resume. All because they don't want to do more work. And on top of all that, at least one person in the lab is miserable every single day. It's making my anxiety so bad that I almost had to go to the hospital. It's also making me question, is every lab this toxic? I'm out and about right now, so I didn't want to go in every detail. But basically, where I work is completely toxic. Everyone is a shit talker, and I get attitudes for no reason. Oh, and they also got upset that I do my job quickly because they don't want the pathologist to know we're done with our work in a timely manner. First of all, Kristen, shout out to you for sticking up for yourself. And yeah, this is girl. Okay. That's a lot of things to discuss here. Let's just talk about everything that you're mentioning right here. I'm pretty sure that this has happened to a few of us. The good thing is, let me tell you what the good thing is. The good thing is that you're able to recognize all the bullshit. Okay? You're able to recognize when people are not genuine, and you're able to recognize when people are trying to sabotage or trying to think for you. And what I really respect is the fact that that's the type of histotech that's going to go far, because we get in this game in the lab to where we become do girls. And I don't want to say kiss ass, because I'm not going to say kiss ass, but when we get into this field, or where we feel like if we just go above and beyond on every single thing, and we just we do everything and we go above and beyond, and we just take on more than what we need to take on, and we just, oh my God, that's really a great worker. He or she works the hardest. They work so hard. Trust me, those are normally the bullshitters. Those are normally the people who strive to do everything and get burnt out so quick, then to where they're like, fuck it, and then they don't last long. So I'm going to give you kudos because, one, you recognize the bullshit. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't even surprise me that the haters would try to tell you, oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't. Because what people try to do is they try to project, their fears onto you, or before you came, and then they see you coming in the door, newbies. Jesus. I mean, if I could just do a video about being a new histotech, I swear to you, it's really like high school. This is really like high school. And, being transparent and sticking and creating those boundaries in the lab is very, very important, because you're able to maneuver through the lab and create these boundaries and be able to still focus on what you're doing and not be the main focus on being liked or being, the person who can, never make a mistake, or the best and better, or the best this and the best that, or, like I am really, really proud of you for literally, one, not listening to the hearsay. Number two, you don't need anyone to speak for you. And I think it's sad because this is probably the first job where you probably had to put your foot down, probably like, hey, like, wait a minute, are we in high school here? Because I'm trying to be nice, and I'm trying to get along with my coworkers, and I'm trying to do what's best for patient care. And that's where the toxic coworkers come in, because we tend to forget that this is about patient care, and we start to take things personally, and people start to think that they know you, and people start to forget how you don't know me. We're not really friends, or we are just, co-workers, and we need to be cordial, but we're here for the patient. And when you start to, tell me, don't do this, you're missing money. But the real question is, like, why don't you want me to do it? And my answer to anyone who's ever came up to me and asked me anything, or asked me about, should I do this, or who should I do that, or, Shanika, I admire the fact that you do neuro, or, you've traveled, you've done most. I always encourage for someone to learn something new if they truly want to do it. Because what tends to happen is, I've seen it a million times, and I currently see it. And what tends to happen is the fact that when someone is seeing another person, especially a newbie, just say, in your words, a newbie come in, and someone is thinking like, well, why it wasn't me? Or why did they choose him? Or why did they choose her? When they start to see that, then they think they need to, speak their minds, or they think they need to like come up to you, and like the audacity. That's how I look at it, the audacity. So the fact that you said, no, I want to learn Mo's, which is an awesome thing. And the fact that I'll be losing money and missing out on hours, none of it's true. If anything, you're adding to your resume, you're adding to your skills. And if the opportunity was awarded to them, do you see yourself going up to them and telling them, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do that? And I think that's what makes a great histotech. Histotech is because you, one, are standing on your own 2 feet, you're thinking for yourself, and you're learning new things, and you are not easily persuaded. We could talk about the lab all day long, and we could talk about histology and blocks and slides and how to gross and how to do everything in the lab. But what type of histotech are you? Are you a histotech that, can multitask, can stand on their own 2 feet, can maneuver through the lab, learn new things, troubleshoot, be dependable, have common sense? Is that the type of histotech you want to be? Because I know that's the type of histotech that I strive to be, as well as making sure that, I'm top priority when it comes to whatever I'm learning. So I feel like you handle everything correctly. And another thing too, it had to be kind of awkward for you to tell your boss, don't listen to anyone, listen to me. And that's when management becomes a little toxic, because I see it all the time. People run to the supervisors or run to the management, and they tell on this person, they tell on that person, and it becomes high school. But I think you have literally set your boundaries, and you drew that line, and you said, hey, like, I don't care what you guys think. This is my career. This is something that I worked hard for. And if I choose to pass that up, it will be because I choose to pass that up. But I would hate to pass up an opportunity like that, because I got to be real with you. Those type of opportunities don't come to everyone. They don't come to everyone. And I am like, I'm telling you that, like, everyone, the people who are scared to do things, They always want to make sure that they project it on you, or they're scared to, oh, well, that person's mean. I be careful, or how is it working with them? They'll try to whisper little things in your ear, and they'll try to discourage you. And the great thing is you're learning that this place is toxic, but that's because it didn't just happen overnight. They're used to that. So will I tell you that every lab is toxic? No. But will I tell you that there will be some toxic individuals probably in every lab? Yes. Period. So, yeah, I'm proud of you. And what a great, comment that you left me. I really appreciate it because you handled everything correctly. Keep doing your thing, Kristen. You're new in the game. You have so much to learn, so much to do. Definitely keep doing your thing because you're gonna be great. The fact that you're learning modes so early in the game, you never know where that can take you. So yeah, awesome job. If you guys got any questions that you guys want to leave for me before we leave this live here, I'm trying to figure out what exactly now that we spoke about this, I just thought it was a great thing to talk about, stress at the lab, just trigger points, like I said before. I really hope that I can do another live for you guys in the next week or so. But I should be dropping a content video very soon. You guys make sure that you check out the last video that I did do for you guys, which is behind the scenes in Neuropath. And any questions or comments, you guys feel free to leave that on any of my videos. And look out for the 1K video when your girl has some time to plan it out and plan it. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys for joining me in the live. Make sure you thumbs up this live whenever you enter the live, and make sure for my replay game that you guys thumbs up and let me know if you guys enjoyed the live. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and leave, but I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.